Hi everyone, it's Root Model Taylor and I curated the August Mini Pretty Club. I loved getting to curate this box of products, so I'm excited to show you all what's in this box. So if you're watching this video, that means that you have one of these boxes. So I'm going to show you what's inside, talk about them a little bit, and then show you a tutorial using all of the products that are in this box. So without further ado, here we go. So we'll start with the full-size product, and this is the Cheyenne Mineral Blush in our Pretty Forever jars. These Pretty Forever jars are a new option. It is a more sustainable, eco-friendly, and zero-waste option to our plastic packaging. So I was really excited to do a full-size product in the Pretty Forever jar because this is the first full-size Pretty Forever jar we've included in one of these mini Pretty Club boxes. If you open Cheyenne, or maybe if you've received it in the past, it's a really gorgeous peachy pink color that's really great for transitioning from summer into fall. I know that into August and September, and some places it starts to get a little cooler, so I really love this. It has a nice shimmer to it, and I love to use it as a topper on my pretty paints, which is actually what I'll be doing later in the tutorial. But I really love Cheyenne. I just think it's a great color year-round, but I love that it's multi-use, so I can use it as a blush, which is what I use it most often for, but I can also use it as a highlighter, especially if you have a darker skin tone. You can use it as an eyeshadow, and even you can mix it with any of our lip colors and create a shimmery lip color. So I really love Cheyenne for those reasons. Next, moving on to the trial skincare product, and it is Wonder Lip. If you've been around the Root community for any amount of time, you'll know that we're pretty much all obsessed with it, and I feel especially obsessed with it. I try to keep one in every purse, so I love this size because it's really easy to throw in a small purse. I'm a small purse person, and it's just a really great travel size, and I just love to keep one with me at all times. It's the most hydrating lip product I've ever used, and I've used a lot of lip balms, and this one I find that it is super hydrating and moisturizing, and I love to put it on at night so that as I sleep, my lips get really hydrated. And I also love to put it on at the beginning of my skincare routine and makeup routine so that by the time I get to my makeup, my lips are really moisturized and I don't have to deal with any cracked lips showing through my lipstick. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and put a little bit on my finger and put it on my lips. And I also love to use this as a healing skin salve. I love to put it around my eyes whenever my eyes are feeling really cracked and dry, and actually my husband really likes it because he's out in the sun all day, and he loves to put this around his eyes as well whenever he's had a long day in the sun and his skin is feeling really cracked and dry. So moving on to the samples, these are some of my favorite Root products ever, so I wanted to choose you know, the greatest hits, or I guess you could call it that. So first up is Boots. Boots is a really great matte brown, and it's more of a warm brown than some of our other shades. And I love it because it transitions really well into fall, like Cheyenne does. But really I use this year round. I always use it as a crease shade to make my eyes look a little deeper set because I do have hooded eyes. So I really love to use it as a crease shade to make my eyes appear deeper and more open. So Boots can also be used as an eyeliner. I prefer a little more contrast in my eyeliner look, so I prefer 100% line if I'm gonna use a liner. But I know that a lot of you prefer to use a more subtle liner or a powder liner, and this works great as an eyeliner as well. So that's definitely an option if you are a powder liner girl. Next up is Tan Rose, which I think is another one of probably the top 5 Root products ever. It is a gorgeous, shimmery, pinky, peachy nude that really goes with any eye look. I especially love to use it wet on my lid, especially if I'm gonna do some sort of cut crease look. It's also one of those shades that you can use real year-round, but it's really pretty in that summer to fall because I just think it accentuates any look, whether it's a bronzy look or a warm-toned, jewel-toned fall look. So Tan Rose, it took me a long time to jump on this bandwagon just because I hadn't had a chance to purchase it, but once I got it around this time time last year. I've been using it nonstop ever since. So that's one of my favorite root shadows ever. So next up is Millie Pretty Balm. As most of you may know, if you've been around Root for a while, I really like to do a bold lip or a bold eye, but I don't always necessarily like to do those together. So whenever I'm doing a bold eye, I always like to do a more nude lip, and Millie is the perfect nude lip. I'm actually gonna do a little swatch real quick because it looks a lot darker in this little sample than I think it really is, but this is what it looks like on the back of a hand. It's a really pretty neutral nude. It almost has a cool tone to it, but it works really great with any skin tone. I really think this is an everyday balm. I have a couple actually that I also keep in my purse because while the Wonder Lip is really hydrating unless you mix it with one of our pigments, it doesn't have any color, but Millie is a peppermint pretty balm, so it's also really hydrating, and it just works with any makeup look. So I like to use it year round with any look, but especially if I'm gonna do a bold eye look. So that's definitely one of my favorite lip colors. And then last but not least is the last sample, which is Coral. I love an orange cheek, and Juniper, which is actually one of the add-ons, is kind of a sister product to Coral. They're actually named after sisters. But I really love this orange, the Coral, and the Pretty Paint formula because I love a creamy, dewy cheek, and that's exactly what the Pretty Paints provide. And in this sample container, it looks really bright, really pigmented, and kind of scary, especially if you're used to a more neutral, natural, subtle look. But I promise if you apply it with just a layer in your fingers, it can be very sheer. And so I'm gonna be using this on my cheeks today to show you how you can actually build up the color whenever we get to the tutorial. But I really love Coral. It's a blush color that I reach for every day, and I especially love it paired with Cheyenne over top to kind of add a nice shimmer. I don't necessarily need to set my blushes, my Pretty Paints, because my skin isn't necessarily oily, but if you want to set your cheeks with some sort of mineral product, then a Cheyenne is a great topper for this. Plus, who doesn't love a little extra shimmer and shine? So now we're going to get into the tutorial part of this video. I'm going to use these products. There's lots of different ways to use them, but this is just kind of a quick, easy way to create a look using all of these products. So I already have Wonder Lip on my lips, so my lips are being moisturized as we speak as I apply this makeup. So first I'm going to move on to eyes. And so this is kind of an unconventional way to use Coral, but I'm actually gonna do Coral on my eyes today. I wanted to do this so you could see that even though it's a lip and cheek product, you can also use it on your eyes. So I'm taking Coral onto my finger. Especially for this, you're gonna wanna use your middle or ring finger because you want a finger that doesn't apply a lot of pressure. And I'm going to apply it onto my eyes as kind of a cream shadow. And I really like to do this especially whenever I'm on the go, because especially now that I'm a mom, whenever I have to be somewhere or whenever my daughter Margot is being a little wild, I don't necessarily have time to do a perfectly executed eye look. So this is a look that I've been doing lately that's really on the go and easy to do. So once I've applied that with my middle finger, I'm just blending it out with my ring finger, because even though it's a cream shadow, we still want it to be blended. So as you can see right now, even on my eyes, you can get a really sheer wash of color out of Coral, even though it looks super, super vibrant in the packaging. There's a way to really sheer it out so that it looks very natural. And this is a perfect look for really any time. I think it's great for summer, but it's also great for fall. I know that around fall, a lot of those 90s warm toned eye looks seem to come out and be more common. So that's kind of what this is. It's kind of my loose interpretation on that. But I really just picked it because it's a really easy way to use all of these products without having to spend a whole lot of time in the mirror every morning, because let's be honest, a lot of us are on the go even in this crazy COVID world. So I'm just blending that out. and it's just a nice sheer wash of color. And especially if you don't have time to prime your eyes with under eye brightener or prime and conceal, this is really great because it acts as an all over color and a primer all in one because it is a cream product. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take our fluffy brush, not fluffy brush, the flat brush, and mine doesn't have a number on it, but it's the flat brush. It's more of a fluffy flat brush. And I'm going to take a little bit of Cheyenne, tap it into the lid, and I'm actually going to use this like I would use for a cheek product, but I'm gonna use it to set my eye look. I always, if you're ever gonna do a cream shadow, you always wanna set it with some sort of one of our mineral powders, because even the driest skin types, your eyes will crease if you don't set your cream eyeshadow. So I'm just tapping off the excess on my brush, and then I'm just applying it all over the lid, everywhere that I applied coral. And since it's a light color, you can even take it up into the brow bone if you would like. I try to avoid going straight up into the eyebrow because I don't want, I personally don't prefer a lot of shimmer near the eyebrow, but that's a personal preference. So I'm just taking it up to where I'm just going a little bit past where I applied the coral. So as you can see, Cheyenne can be a little, not sheer, but just not super bold on its own. So if I'm going to use it as an eyeshadow, I like to have something underneath so that Cheyenne kind of enhances the shadow. And especially if you have blue or green eyes, this looks really great because warm tones complement blue and green eyes, but this looks beautiful on brown eyes because brown eyes are so rich. So really this works with any skin tone, any eye color. So I'm just applying a couple extra layers of Cheyenne. So as you can see, that's just a super pretty, natural eye look, but it also has a nice pizzazz to it with the color and also the shimmer. So I think we all do our makeup a little different in order of process. So I actually skipped to cheeks now because using a cheek product is my favorite part of getting ready. So I'm going to take coral again because I'm going to tie in the orange tones in my eyes, but also on my cheeks. And I'm just going to put it on my finger, and I'm just applying it to the apples of my cheeks. I really love coral because it adds a nice warmth to the face, especially if you don't have time to do bronzer or you don't have a bronzer with you. It kind of gives a sort of sun-kissed glow if you're looking for something summery and sun-kissed without being brown, if that makes sense. I feel like whenever I wear coral, it always just really amplifies any look, especially if I'm doing browns or even purples in my eye look. And of course it obviously works perfectly with any sort of peach eye look, but I love it with browns, purples, peaches, pinks. I think it complements it really nice. And so as you can see, I'm just building this up on my cheeks. I prefer a more decidedly opaque orange cheek. That's just a personal preference because I really love orange blush and I really love cream products and I really love coral. So I like to use it as much as I can. So I'm sure a lot of people would have stopped a layer or two ago. But as you can see, I'm almost taking it up onto the side of my face as I would a bronzer. So I'm just tapping it onto my cheeks. And if you find that maybe you went a little too far on the inside, you can blend it out. I am wearing my Pretty Booster Plus in shade 1 underneath. So I'm wearing a cream product underneath, so it's making it a little easier to blend. Of course, you can do it on top of our Pearl Mineral Foundation, which is actually what I do most days, but I wanted to do the Pretty Booster Plus for today. So I also wanted to use Tan Rose, of course, and since my eyes are hooded, I like to have a lighter shade on my lid. So what I'm going to do, you can do this wet. Normally I would probably do this wet, but for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna do it dry. I'm gonna take our flat brush and I'm going to, this is the number 10 brush, I believe, and I'm going to just dip it straight into the sample pod. And I'm going to, I'm really setting the product in there because this is loose and shimmery. It can potentially, especially in this little pod, you can knock it over and it can get a little messy. So I'm just making sure I pack the product into the brush, and then I'm just going to apply that straight onto my eyelid. And like with all of our mineral products, especially the shimmery ones like Cheyenne and Tan Rose, if you get it wet, then it will have a creamy consistency and it'll look a little more pigmented. But since I'm going for a more natural look today anyway, I'm not necessarily trying to do that. And of course, I like to apply it on the inner corner. This is a really great light natural shade if you don't want to choose something very white for your inner corner and your lid. This is a really great option because it looks natural even with a really dramatic eye look, if that makes sense. So since I'm all about the glow, I'm actually also going to use this as a highlighter. That's what I love about our products. Everything is so multi-use. So I'm taking Tan Rose, and this is actually really great if you have a deeper skin tone, but even me, as pale as I am, like I said, I'm shade 1 in our Pretty Booster Plus, which is the palest shade, I can get away with using this. So this would look especially great if you have a darker skin tone. So I'm just putting it on our Set and Illuminate brush, tapping off any excess because I don't want to be too shiny, and I'm just applying it anywhere I would apply highlighter. So on my nose, and this is actually the highlighter I used in the card that you received with your package. This is the highlighter I used in that photo. So I'm just going to apply it on the cheekbone and a little bit on the Cupid's bow. And of course, you can put it on the brow bone. Like I said, that's not really my thing, but you can do that. I just feel like the way my eyebrows are shaped, it doesn't look how I would want it to look. So you just want to blend that out a little bit. As you can see, since my skin is a little paler, it does deposit a little color, but that doesn't bother me because I like how it has a nice, almost tan, bronzy effect. So it's really great for transitioning to summer and to fall because you can use it however you want and create whatever look you want. So now I'm going to add our mascara. This is our 100% Lash Mascara. And of course, this is not in the box, but you likely already have it. And if you don't have it, what are you waiting for? This is my favorite mascara. My sister says that I apply it funny. But you know, what can you do whenever you're applying mascara on a phone screen? And I always go on the lower lash line, especially whenever I'm doing a more natural look like this. So last but not least, we have lips. And so I'm actually going to combine two of these products that are in this box, Boots and Millie. Boots kind of seems like an unconventional product to mix in with the lip, but I promise it's gorgeous. Stick with me. I think you'll like how it turns out. So I'm just going to dig into Millie, get a little bit on my fingernail. I'm going to place it on the back of my hand, like where I had it when I swatched it earlier. And I'm just going to, I'm actually going to take a brush because I don't want to be too messy with this, but this is our number 18 angle brush. I'm just going to dip it into Boots, and very carefully, without getting it everywhere, I'm going to put it right on top of Millie. And so what I'm doing is I'm creating a very 90s inspired, kind of fall inspired brown lip. So I'm just gonna mix them on the back of my hand with my finger, and as you can see, it's a really gorgeous brown. Millie is a little more on the cool side, but adding Boots in, which is warmer, creates a really nice mid-tone brown lip. And I love Millie because it's really hydrating, but it also adds some color, and it's a really nice glossy lip. Not glossy like lip gloss glossy, not glossy like a pretty gloss, but it has a nice shine to it, which I really appreciate, especially in that summer to fall transition time. So this is the finished look. And actually what you can even do, this would be a really great product to put on a cheek. So just for the sake of showing you what it looks like, you can even mix this onto your cheek. I like to do very cohesive, kind of more monochromatic looks. So I like to make sure my products are kind of included all over my face, which is why I used coral on my eyes and on my cheeks, but also why I can use this lip color on my cheeks and my lips. So maybe that's a little bold. I would probably go back in with a prepped Pretty Blender and some of my Pearl Mineral Foundation or Pretty Booster Plus and kind of blend that out. But so crazy hands and all, this is the finished look. I love this box because all the products can be used in multiple ways. As you can tell, you can use your eyeshadow for a lip and cheek color. You can use your lip and cheek color for an eyeshadow. You can use the blush as an eyeshadow or a lip topper or a highlighter. So there's lots of different ways to use these products, which is why I picked them. And they're all my favorites because they can be used every day in so many different ways. As a matter of fact, all of these products, I've been moving in and out of my apartment this past week, and I've only had this box of products, and I've been able to do my makeup every day, and it looks flawless and beautiful every day, and I can combine all of these products to create different looks, so I don't feel like I'm stuck in a rut. So even if you get stranded on an island and this is the only makeup that you have is what's in this box, then I promise you can create a lot of looks that you'll be happy with, and that'll make you feel really gorgeous. So I hope you've enjoyed my picks. I hope everyone can create some sort of multiple different looks using these looks. I would love to see what looks you create using this box. So if you get this box and create a look of any kind, whether it's a lip look or a cheek look or an eye look, please feel free to tag Root at Root Pretty or me at Root Model Taylor. Thanks so much for buying this box, guys.